What's going on, everybody? So I am back today to talk about another Shudder horror exclusive original film, whatever you want to call it. I watch a lot of Shudder horror movies, obviously, as you are all very well aware. And I get very excited for the new releases of Shudder horror films. And the movie I'm going to be talking about today, I watched not only for the poster, because the title of the film was so interesting to me, and that movie is Slapface. Slapface is directed by Jeremiah Kipp and tells the story of Lukas, a young boy who deals with the loss of his mother and father by creating a relationship with a dangerous monster. This is a really interesting premise. I thought that the opening shot of this film was really great. You just have these two brothers in a room smacking each other in the face back and forth, and it was framed really well. The cinematography looked really nice, and I thought I was going to be in for an incredible experience, and I really did not like this movie at all. The cinematography was really nice. I thought that the creature design was alright. Nothing super spectacular. Interesting enough to watch the whole film, but for the most part, the dialogue was incredibly mediocre. Felt kind of borderline like made for Sci-Fi channel level hokey, where the delivery wasn't very good. None of the acting was really spectacular in any way. For the most part, I just found the film kind of boring. Felt like its message was a little heavy-handed. It wasn't enough to convey like a powerhouse punch by the third act to where I really cared, and I thought the third act was a little lazy, which was disappointing because I think that the first act is pretty good. Had a nice build-up. Overall, wasn't super impressed with this one. Like I said, the first thing I want to talk about is the performances. Our two lead characters are these young brothers. I think the youngest brother, does a decent job. His older brother gives off some dialogue. It didn't work for me. There's moments where I thought that their relationship was conveyed pretty well, but once it dives a little bit more into the older brother's relationship with this girl, it gets really like hokey. It's nonsensical at times. And then just like the relationship that he has between the sheriff in this town. The youngest brother keeps getting picked up because he's going into this abandoned building where no one's supposed to go, and they're always in trouble with the law because both of their parents died, which it's an interesting idea at its core of like this familial trauma of these two kids who dealt with the most horrible loss in the world, which is your parents are just gone and you're on your own. And you can tell the brother is trying to spend time making sure that he makes enough money so the two of them can survive. He's trying to be a parent and a guardian while at the same time being forced into parenthood, essentially. And they cope by playing a game called Slapface, where when they get really mad at each other for something, they smack each other in the face as hard as they can. And it's kind of goofy the way that that's introduced, but it's one of the parts of the movie that I felt like was the most well executed. That young boy goes into this abandoned building, finds this weird like occult stuff in the basement, and there's this hooded figure down there that he befriends, and you're given very little insight as to what it actually is. And then the rest of the story dives into the young boy gets bullied quite a bit by these twin girls, and this girl who is like wanting to date him but at the same time treats him awful around these two girls. And it's just, the dynamic is set up really weird, and it doesn't make a lot of sense when she gets very rude with him, and it's a little weird. I didn't think that the story structure and the pacing was executed very well, because you're watching this film, and when you look at a concept like bullying and you want to feel sympathy for this character, but he keeps putting himself in this situation where he's getting bullied by these same three people, and it would make more sense like if it showed him at school getting picked on a whole bunch or in certain situations. And obviously because of COVID limitations, the where they filmed, you could tell a lot of it was in the house. They had like this police station set up, and then obviously this abandoned building area. For the most part, it was shot there, and then at those two twin girls' house, which is like super luxurious and nice, which this young girl who is interested in our lead character seemingly spends time with them because they live in this luxurious house, and she can be friends with these popular girls, which, like, when you think of the stereotypical popular girls, these two twins are just little assholes, and it doesn't really make any sense why the girl is even interested in spending time with them because they're so mean. And she seemingly is a very nice kid who has an empathetic and caring heart outside of treating this young boy like he's shit for no reason. I think that's part of what frustrated me about this movie a little bit, was just like the character relationships didn't make a lot of sense, and it made that whole element of like this young boy who's already been through a lot of horrible trauma is getting bullied, and you want to feel sympathy for him, you want to feel terrible for his situations, but because of how sloppy the pacing is and how the character relationships don't really make much sense, it's just frustrating. And by the third act, it's a pretty short runtime of a film, I want to say under an hour and a half, but by the third act I was just ready for it to end. I didn't enjoy it very much, which was disappointing because I thought the concept was really cool. This is one I would say, if you have a Shudder subscription, I would just avoid it. Have you seen Slapface yet? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie wasn't very good. I had some nice cinematography. I thought some of the performances were okay, but for the most part, I thought it had sloppy execution, and it's not one I would watch again. As always, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot, lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I am always making new videos. I love creating these types of videos for you guys, and I look forward to putting more content out in the near future. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.